Hello Sagittarius, how are you? It's the 24th of February 2026. Apologies for the radio silence. I've been having somewhat of a break. Going to do you guys a love tarot reading today. A little bit of a different format. I'm going to use one deck, which is, excuse me, not something I've done on my channel before, but I'm just going to go with it. I'm being called to use one deck. If I feel the need to use another or any further clarification, or I get the, just that feeling to use another deck, I will pause and I will get another deck. So let's see how it goes. Love tarot reading for Sagittarius. Please take what resonates and leave what does not. Messages in love for Sagittarius. Messages in love for Sagittarius. Okay. Whew. So you have got all major arcanas to begin with. I just want to check this deck, but I know that they weren't. I gave it a good shuffle. Always shuffle my decks very, very well. So you have Death in the upright, the High Priestess in reverse, the Hermit in reverse, and the World in reverse. Okay, and the Six of Pentacles in reverse. And no, my cards are not all in reverse. So already for you Sagittarius, I am seeing a situationship, a relationship. I mean, we are talking love here. An ending, but something that's unfinished. Something that's not very equal, lack of equal give and take, unbalanced, unfair perhaps. And there's the Hermit in reverse. So someone, you or someone, is quite shut off, perhaps there's been an ending and you or them are shut off from each other, just closed down. Perhaps it's been quite a blunt ending. But that World card in reverse, I'm getting a radio silence. I said that when I started my reading. Apologies for the radio silence. I've had a bit of a break. So perhaps there is a bit of a radio silence with you and someone here. Let's see. Let's start clarifying. Something quite major happening for you, Sagittarius. All your first cards were major arcanas, apart from that Six of Pentacles that came out in reverse. So let's see what these could be about for Sagittarius. Why is Death here? Alright, so we've got the Ten of Wands. Now, it kind of spun out, flipped out, and then I sort of caught it with my arm and it flipped over. So I don't know if it came out in the upright or in the reverse. So, but yeah, something quite major, something quite heavy. There's the Ten of Wands, which is heaviness. I'm going to take that for Death. So as a clarifier for the Death card, could be, I'm going to put it that way, because it could have been upright, it could have been reverse. It's just the way it come out. So to be fair, I will put it sideways. It could be either or. So something has been a burden, is a burden, or a burden has been lifted by an ending here. Having to let something go, feeling like something needs to give here because it's become too heavy, too strenuous, overbearing, too much of a responsibility, of a burden, that, all that kind of energy there. High Priestess. Why is she here for Sagittarius in love? Seven of Swords in reverse, coming clean. Taking responsibility, taking ownership of things that have been done, said, And yeah, the High Priestess there as well. So there's been some perhaps secrecy here. Some secrecy, trickery, perhaps deceit, manipulation, but more so deceit, secrecy. With the Seven of Swords coming out as a clarifier for the High Priestess in reverse. That definitely tells me there's been actions or words or just secrets, deceit, secrets, things that have, or someone here has been keeping their, and with the Hermit there, someone has been keeping their feelings or something to themselves, or they've been keeping, yeah, they've been keeping something secret, or they've not been saying how they feel. Heavy, I'm getting a heavy, sort of cold, cut off, secret, and somewhat emotionally sort of unavailable, but more someone that's keeping themselves, they don't say much, they don't, someone's not giving someone else much to go on here, or someone has been a bit sneaky and deceitful. Or someone hasn't been saying how they truly feel. The Hermit in reverse. Why is he here for Sagittarius in love? The King of Wands in the upright. Okay. Someone's looking ahead, making plans, a vision for the long term. Someone's also quite independent, quite single-minded, independently minded. They kind of not playing as a team player, I'm getting, thinking about themselves or acting as if they are not in a relationship, if there was a relationship, that kind of, yeah, someone that's somewhat keeping their options open, perhaps. And also, yeah, someone here is looking forward, looking to make a plan forward, looking ahead, wanting to take action, ending something in order to take action, to progress forward. The World in reverse. Why is it here for Sagittarius? Eight of Cups. So, yeah, there's that walking away again. Perhaps, okay, so someone's walking away, but they keep turning back. They keep turning back. They're looking back. Or they have looked back, or they spent, perhaps they were in a state of indecision for a while. They kind of didn't really want to have an ending, but kind of thought it was for the best. But they was unsure for a while, and they kept looking back. Is this over? Is it finished, or is it unfinished? Is there, someone feels lack of closure here, or someone's looking for for closure, but someone's not giving closure, and someone's being left without closure, and they're kind of, I'm getting a very cold, that cold, cut off, secretive energy, and it's kind of leaving someone hanging here, and they're having no alternative but to walk away, because it's quite an unfair, cut off kind of situation here. Six of Pentacles. Why is it here for Sagittarius? The Chariot. So perhaps someone's moving on, walking away with great speed. Moving forwards, moving on. The King of Wands, the Chariot. That's, so someone's been lingering here for quite a while in indecision or with a lack of closure. Perhaps they've had enough of hanging around. And now they're going forward. King of Wands, the Chariot, full steam ahead. At great speed. Ten of Wands. Why did it come out for Sagittarius? Ten of Cups. Oof. So, someone's going towards what makes them happy. Perhaps this wasn't making them happy because, well, I mean, judging by the energy, it wouldn't. Because this wasn't a, this was very one-sided, I'm getting. Very one-sided, very, maybe someone was very emotionally unavailable, wishy-washy with their feelings, not consistent, not, you know, and someone wasn't happy here. So they're going towards, they're going to lay this burden down and go towards what actually makes them happy. Because hanging around, not being given insight or communication or closure on what's actually happening, or love or affection or any type of, I'm getting this cold energy. I mean, no one's going to be happy with that, are they? So, and who's going to hang around for too long? You know, it's unfortunate if you have, because, you know, it can leave you in a sort of unsure, it's a horrible place to be left with a lack of closure when you kind of perhaps wanted a relationship to turn into a Ten of Cups, but you're being left with, well, a Ten of Wands instead. Seven of Swords in reverse. Why is it here for Sagittarius? Page of Pentacles. He flipped over slightly when I was shuffling earlier, and I put him back because he didn't come out aggressively enough for me, or I didn't get the feeling to pull him out, but there he is again. Thank you. So the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So yeah, there was an opportunity for growth here, or someone presented an opportunity for growth, but it's a Page of Pentacles, wasn't a Knight of Pentacles, definitely wasn't a King of Pentacles. They were unsure, it was unstable, it was ungrounded, it was unbalanced, it was somewhat cold, cut off, lacking closure, lacking a plan of action. Perhaps there was no plan of action here. And someone just, their words, no action. They kind of had the words, but not the actions to follow through. Or someone just wasn't consistent. They wasn't grounded. They wasn't stable. They wasn't solid enough. They wasn't committed enough. King of Wands. Why is he here for Sagittarius? Yeah. Six of Wands in reverse. Again, more one-sided. Lack of recognition, lack of appreciation, lack of just lack. A lack of victory, a lack of success, and someone also might have been holding on a little bit too tightly or looking for this successful outcome, this Ten of Cups, and they weren't getting it, and perhaps they really wanted it and they held on a little bit too long when they should have kind of let go because it was at their own detriment, and it, you know, but, you know, sometimes it goes like that. When it's something or someone or a relationship you really want, you don't want to let go, do you? But I'm getting the feeling that someone has now let go because they really are bored of hanging around waiting for, well, let's just say it, crumbs. Eight of Cups. Why is it here for Sagittarius? Four of Wands. So, I mean, Four of Wands, that could be just, you know, getting back to friends, family, some sort of stability within yourself, within your life. Going towards, but I'm getting more going towards the, you know, what makes you happy, what makes you feel safe, happy, loved, appreciated, content, satisfied, in balance, in alignment. And I'm also getting someone that had high hopes for a relationship here, but they were left. They were given, there was someone here that's brought something forward, a commitment forward, a possibility of a commitment forward, a possibility of something solid. but they wasn't very sure when they made that offer, and they didn't really have a plan in place on how they were going to do it, and they didn't really say much about it. They didn't, they kind of brought it to the table and then they took it away, or they brought it to the table and then they cut off and didn't say much more about it. And it's left someone feeling really sort of rubbish here. Left in the dark, really isolated, really cut off, feeling really rejected, feeling really unfairly treated. Someone hasn't put any effort in where effort was due, and someone really thought here that it was going to be a commitment, a relationship, something good, something solid, something long-standing, something, you know, could have been happily ever after sort of energy. The Chariot. Why is the Chariot here for Sagittarius? Yeah, 5 of Cups. Someone's disappointed. Disappointed, sad, feels let down. And someone was, you know, kind of hanging on for this, focused on this, really wanted this. Wasn't looking for anything else. Wasn't maybe taking up any opportunities of new offers in love. Wasn't looking for anyone else. They were focused on this. And I have a real, this cold, keep going back to this cold, and they are really disappointed because someone's acted in a way that someone never thought they would. Someone feels really let down here. Ten of Cups. Why is the Ten of Cups here for Sagittarius? The Empress in reverse, yeah. Someone had a lot of high hopes for this, to the point that they became somewhat dependent, codependent here. They gave it their all. They kind of forgot themselves in the process, neglected themselves, and put all their hopes, dreams and wishes onto this relationship, connection, whatever it was, and to their own detriment. They forgot about themselves, and then the person that they were focusing on, that they had all these hopes and dreams of, forgot about them. And that would be disappointing. Page of Pentacles. Why is he here for Sagittarius? Okay. 8 of Wands. So, rapid action. There's some action here. Rapid action, rapid communication. Perhaps someone's receiving, finally, okay, so finally, perhaps someone is receiving communication here after a radio silence, after a long silent period, or perhaps after some sort of ending, cut off, and there's been silence while people gather themselves. Perhaps now there's some communication happening, or perhaps this communication is a decision that's been made which has brought this ending. I'm getting a swift, some sort of swift, I'm getting this cold energy, this cold cut off, and I'm also getting this swift decision that's been made. This action needs to be taken once and for all. This kind of, that's enough. However that resonates for you. 6 of Wands in reverse energy. Why is it here for Sagittarius? Yeah, 3 of Wands in the upright. Looking ahead, wanting to plan for the future, wanting to take action, wanting to progress, not wanting to hang around. But someone's been stalling a little bit here. Like I say, they've been holding on for this. Perhaps this has been going round in a circle, going round in a loop. Perhaps there's been some reconciliation here along the way, ups and downs, on and off. Four of Wands. Why is it here for Sagittarius? Page of Cups in reverse. Yeah, someone's not been consistent here. Someone's offered something, but they weren't sure. They offered it, maybe spoke too soon. Maybe ran off with their emotions, but didn't think it through kind of before they said it out loud. Very wishy-washy, very unstable. All talk but no action. I'm not getting it in a malice or a malicious sort of way, but I'm getting someone that, yeah, kind of should have thought their offer through first, their plan. They had no plans. They made an offer but had no plans to back it up with. Five of Cups. Why is the Five of Cups here for Sagittarius? The Moon. There you go. More secrecy. Things that are unknown, unspoken. So I'm definitely getting that. Perhaps someone was emotionally unavailable here. Very cold, very cut off, very secretive. Or this is something that has been very secretive. I'm not, however that resonates for you. But I'm also getting someone that's very quiet, very... Yeah, so... Again, there's that element of secrecy, right? So let's do one last line of clarification. The Empress, yeah. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. There's that waiting around, kind of not seeing progress energy again. Eight of Wands. Six of Swords in reverse. There's that hanging around energy, resisting to change, not walking away when someone probably should have walked away. Perhaps this is something that's been going on around in circles for quite a while. Three of Wands, Ace of Cups. So there's that offer. There's that offer of love. But now, that could have been the offer that was made, but it was by a Page of Pentacles and a Page of Cups. I'm not seeing anything more solid here. And perhaps that's someone here that's now walking away because they're gonna, all the love and attention and focus they gave to this relationship, well, that didn't turn into a relationship, whatever it was, they gave their all to this and was left absolutely hanging. Perhaps now they're going to focus on their own love towards themselves. All that love that they gave out that wasn't reciprocated, perhaps now they're going to give that to themselves instead of giving it so freely to others when perhaps they should not have. Page of Cups. There you go. Nine of Cups in reverse. Discontent, unsatisfied, but also can mean holding on when you should have let go. Being, that's kind of like a smug, greedy energy it can be, but it also, no, this is mine. I'm holding on to this. Someone held on here. Probably when they know that they should have let go. The Moon. There's the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. Someone held on. They were consistent. They were patient, very patient. They were committed to someone, patient. They held on. The Knight of Pentacles, he is slow and steady. When he's not in a rush. If he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. He's going to stick with it. But I think, yeah, I think that even a Knight of Pentacles has his limits as to how long he's going to hold on when he's getting absolutely nothing in return but empty words. Let me put these into their suits for you, Sagittarius, and I'll see if I can squeeze any last messages, if they're there. One moment. Right, so I've put them into their suits. So I've got someone here that is still hanging on. For someone, for one of you, for whoever that resonates for. You're still hanging on. You're still committed here. And you're still unsure whether to walk away or not. And that decision is down to you. But I see a very unfair situation here. I see an offer that was made that was not made, not in a stable way. There was a lot of, I see a lot of big words, but not a lot of action. I see the offer of happiness, happy ever after, contentment, you know, all that kind of thing that comes along with it. But someone made an offer that they weren't sure they could deliver. And it's still very much hanging unfinished, and someone's been waiting very patiently, very understanding, very patient. But it has been a burden. And someone wants to now, they want to move forward, and I get a feeling that they've wanted to move forward. They're getting bored of hanging around. They're getting bored of feeling stuck. They're not getting much here. They're not seeing much progression. It's feeling one-sided. It's feeling unfair. Someone's very cold, cut off, not saying very much. They're being a bit unfair here. Well, they're being very unfair because they're leaving someone hanging. And I've got a feeling they've done it for quite a while. So pretty much the same as what I picked up for you, Sagittarius. So I'm going to leave it there. That's the energy as it is for you at the moment. Hope it resonated. If it did, please consider giving the video a thumbs up. And if you would like some more readings from me, please consider subscribing to the channel. Good luck, best wishes, take care, lots of love. Till next time. Bye-bye.